Hello everybody, today we are doing the August 2026 Dark Moon Ritual tutorial, which is something called Mid-Year Psychic Cleanse. Though I'll do this the same way that I've been doing it the last few times. I haven't had any feedback saying that I'm either missing things or under or over explaining things as of yet. Feel free to do that, by the way. This isn't for our benefit, it's for yours. So if you feel like I should be including things and I'm not, or I'm including too much and you don't want it, then that's absolutely fine, just let me know. So I guess I will move this very carefully out of the way. I'll just show you the little setup and then I'll delve into the components of the ritual. Whoop, sorry about that. Okay, so as you can see, everything's all set up. I'm trying the tiniest little bit of charcoal today. I have already lit this 5 minutes before I started recording, just to give it enough time to go white. And when it's white, that means it's good to go. Though, sorry, I will get this sorted out in a better way at some point in the future. Yeah, that's a later problem. But yeah, as you can see, everything's already set up. Now, with the pieces of paper that's required, I've already cut them into little rectangles so that I don't have to worry about doing that during the ritual. But it's just something that I don't think I wrote down on the ritual sheet to begin with, and just thought it made a bit more sense rather than using massive pieces of paper. So here we go. So we'll do the whole kit and caboodle, so purpose of ritual first. This ritual is a psychic cleanse to remove any energetic gunk we have picked up this year so far. By doing this, we can also strengthen our spiritual connection to allow magic to flow more freely throughout the rest of the year. Nice and simple explanation, and that's why it's quite a simple kind of setup really with this. As per the last few videos as well, you'll have noticed that my cakes and ale consist just of ale, which is sparkling apple juice today because I'm feeling a little fancy. Yeah, I will get to it. It's just at the moment struggling a bit with that, so yeah. Anyway, let's move on to items needed. So large red candle, which represents the fire elemental. A long piece of black string, twine or thread, or anything that you can make into a circle surrounding the main components of the ritual. You possibly didn't see it when I lifted it up, but if I, where is it? It's down here. If I do this, you can kind of see where it is here. That was a nightmare, by the way. I would highly recommend not doing this on top of a cloth because the string might stick to the cloth and then it'll just be a complete pain in the bum. But I'd already set everything else up when I put that on and I did not want to take it all off and start all over again. Sorry. But yeah, note for that. Pieces of paper, 3 small pieces so you can write on them. Like I said, I've already cut them up. If you're not going to, you can just rip like little corners of some random scrapbook paper off if you've got any, and you can just use that instead so you're not wasting paper rather than using like a whole sheet. Fireproof tongs or tweezers, whichever you've got, whichever is easiest. Now, I use these. They're quite long. They go all the way down here, so my hand can be very far away from the flame. And this is to pick up and hold your paper when you are burning it so that you don't burn your fingers. I've mentioned fireproof, so a lot of ones like this, these are actually scrapbooking ones, but you can get them with like rubber ends at the end as well. If you don't have those, you can use kitchen tongs. It might be a little bit fiddly, but it probably work, to be fair. But any form of tongs or tweezers, as long as you know you're not going to burn yourself, that is fine. Tub of salt, which is this little one here. It should be enough to make a border around the workspace to contain the icky energy until it's burnt away. This is going to be a little bit messy, guys. This is something else that I didn't think of when I put the cloth down after cleaning everything. Afterwards, you are going to have to clean that salt up. That will be easier on a flat surface without a cloth than with a cloth. So if you've got a cloth down, go get rid of it now. Don't. Do I want to do that? No, I don't. I'm going to leave the cloth there. I'm going to suffer the consequences of my own actions. Don't know why I said it like that. Psychic cleansing incense, and the recipe is at the end. I have pre-made mine up. It's here. I label all of my incense as well. I just forgot to take the lid off, so I'm going to pop that out. I don't think that's actually listed on the location of where it's supposed to be on here. So I've popped it to the left of the candle and sort of adjacent to the cauldron as well. Cauldron with sand and charcoal disc or a fireproof dish to burn your incense and drop your smoking paper into. Lighter or matches to light everything. Scissors to cut the string at the end of the ritual. Mine are pink. I'm not really a pinky person. But it was either that or nail clippers, so pink it is. And then cake and ale of your choice as well. Okay. The rest is month. No, it isn't. It's moon phase, so dark moon's an ideal time to remove anything clinging onto us that needs to be gone. It's the time when we remove things completely from ourselves to allow ourselves to blossom. And then there's also a month explanation here as well. August should be a month of strength, peace and success, but it can be hard to live up to our full potential when we feel psychically and physically bogged down. Okay, preparation. Think about anything that you feel has been bogging you down spiritually. There's no need to decide on exactly 3 things right now, but get in the headspace where you can think about anything that is holding you back. Boy, do I have hundreds of those. I don't need any extra time to think about those. Set up your space, get your cakes and ale, make the incense, or find a suitable alternative that works for you. So if you'd rather use an incense stick, it would be things associated with removal, protection, psychic enhancement, that kind of thing. So you can just use rosemary or vanilla. Lavender and chamomile, possibly out there as well. But if you have just like a favourite scent, you can just burn that as well. That's not a problem. Okay, shower, bath, or at the very least, wash your face and hands to remove any visible dirt. I have showered. Thank you so much for asking. And light your charcoal 5 minutes before the ritual starts if you're using it. As you can see, I've already done it because it is white, which means it's ready to go. So we will be moving on to casting the circle. I almost asked if anyone had any questions, and then I realised I can't see them at this moment in time because it's not live. It's just, you know, me chatting into a camera. So yeah, let's move on, I guess. Casting the circle, take 3 deep breaths, release them slowly, do it 3 times. Take a pinch of your incense, throw it over the charcoal. As the smoke rushes up, use your hands to direct the smoke around you, and then some verbiage to go along with that as well. So it's a bit hot in here. 3 deep breaths. Okay. Ooh, actually went a little bit dizzy with that. Okay. Pick up your incense, take a pinch, and try and angle this correctly. I probably should have put this in a larger jar, if I'm honest with you. I can't really get my fingers in properly. I'm going to pop a few pinches on it. There we go, that's perfect. So, my space is protected. My space is secure. Nothing can enter, only leave. I'm really hoping that my fire alarm doesn't start going off. If it does, I will pause, I will put this out, and we will come up with a suitable alternative on the spot. But for the time being, it should be fine. I have my lid if it is at all necessary as well. So you can just pop the lid on. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm just using my tongs to remove the big chunk that was potentially going to send my fire alarm screaming at me, now that I can see all the smoke. I'm glad that it's there though. Space is protected at least. I just heard a really funny noise. Sorry about that. Anyway, evocation. So turn your attention to the red candle. Pick up your lighter and light the candle. As you do so, say, I welcome the flame to my circle to burn away the unwanted energy that has attached itself to me. Let your heat eat away at any negative attachments that I have and strengthen the bond between my spiritual side and my physical form. Again, you don't have to pick your candle up to do that. I just have to because of how far down it is. I might actually just trim it afterwards, to be fair. Okay, onto the spell. Start by picking up your salt container. Carefully sprinkle the salt in a clockwise direction, following the line of the string from the knot. Your salt circle should go around the entire string until it reaches the knot at the bottom, and then some verbiage to say alongside. Now, when I was putting this together, I didn't quite think about the space that I had in mind, so mine's only going to be quite rough. You also don't need it to be like a thick line. Sorry, I went out of frame. You don't need it to be a really thick line of salt either, as long as you've sprinkled it from the knot, which should be at the bottom here. This is the starting point. We'll go clockwise. As long as you start and finish here, it doesn't have to be like a visible salt line. Although that's cool, it's messy and it might be a little bit of a waste, and we don't like waste. Okay. Oh, before I start, you're going to need to keep taking pinches out to continue, so just make mental note of where you have to stop. It's quite easy for me to do because I have different markers and patterns using my cloth, which is why I decided to keep it. If you don't have that and you're just using a flat surface, you might be able to see where it ends, but don't worry if you can't. Just do your best. That's all you can do. Okay. The inner circle will trap the negative energy that is released from me. It will not pass this salt. It will not pass this salt line. It shall leave me, and it shall stay within the inner circle. I've got salt under my nails now. Ooh. A little bit distracting, sorry. Funny about that. Quite funnily, I didn't need more than one pinch, and I can see where it is. I'm sure you possibly can see some of the spillage here, but don't worry about that. It doesn't need to be a perfectly solid line. People just like doing that for the aesthetic. For a pinch, another pinch of incense over the charcoal, and take a deep breath. Over the charcoal, silly lady. Okay. Take a few moments to think about any situations you have found yourself in where you know that some energetic gunk has stuck around you. You should write down at least 2 of these things, even if they are things like emotional instability. So we'll do that first, and then we'll revisit the next thing. Okay, so I've done my 2, not telling you what they are personal, thank you very much. Once you have decided what to write down on 2 of these pieces of paper, make sure you have written 1 per piece of paper. So I've got 1 on this one, 1 on, oh you can't see, 1 on this one, there, and 1 on this one. Okay, on the final piece of paper, write a sentence that will release all the attached ickiness from you, such as, no negativity is stuck to me. Now you can make this sentence whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be, no negativity is stuck to me. You can focus on one particular thing if you want. So if there's one really big thing that's just like, no, go away, you can focus on that if you want. But this final one is more specifically to remove anything that you just purge, get rid. So I'm going to use that. There we go. Now, you take up the first thing you wrote and fold it away from you 4 times. Pick up the tweezers and tongs, hold the paper with the folds away from you, hold it over the flame, and then burn. That was the first one. So, away. 1. Turn it anti-clockwise as you go. 2. 3. And 4. So my tiny little square, look. Speaking like a baby. So then we hold it in our tongs very, very tightly. We do not want to let go of this, especially if you've got cloth on the altar, because then house up in flames, no thank you very much. Okay. The flame burning before me will release the negativity within me. The flame will destroy that energy that has stuck itself to me. And then drop it into the cauldron to let it burn. As the paper burns, drop it into your fireproof dish or cauldron, and then repeat the process with the other 2 pieces of paper. So, the second one you wrote, away from you. 1, turn anti-clockwise. 2, anti-clockwise. 3, anti-clockwise. 4. There we go. Now the folds are away where I'm finished. I don't really know if you can see. Where did I put my tongs? Oh, I'm sure this is the definition of a chaos witch. I know it's not, by the way, it's just a bad joke. The flame burning before me will release the negativity within me. The flame will destroy that energy which has stuck itself to me. We want it like good on fire as well, guys. Oh yeah, a big flame, lovely. And then drop it into fireproof dish or cauldron. Make sure as you're doing this that you keep an eye on it, and if you're using a cauldron, make sure you have the lid within easy hand's reach, so that if the flame gets too out of hand, you can pop it on, stop the burning, remove all the oxygen. Your house is safe, so keep it nearby rather than just like rushing around and panicking. Fire safety, I will always bang on about it. Okay, now we do the final one. Away. 1, anti-clockwise. 2, anti-clockwise. 3, anti-clockwise. 4. The flame burning before me will release the negativity within me. The flame will destroy that energy that has stuck itself to me. Once all the papers are burned, hold your hand high above the fireproof dish or cauldron. Remember what I said about high? Not down here, way up here. You want to feel the heat, but you don't want it burning. By fire and flame, I am free of all clinging negativity. Just waiting for the last one to finish burning before I remove my hand. Perfect. Next would be communion. Please join me and take up your cake and ale. Let us feast with the deities and each other as we come to the end of our ritual. Give thanks for their help and the company we experience today. Take a moment to reflect on the work we have done so far and the outcome we hope to achieve. There's no need to rush. Take your time. Don't feel pressured by anyone else as they may be having a different cake and ale. Obviously, there is no extra verbiage with this one. There's no toast. So sometimes when there's no toast, but I feel the need to, I just raise the glass before having my sip and popping it down again. No, I think I'll do that. Yummy apple juice. I'm sorry if you hear me swallowing, by the way. It's one of those things. Next would be energy requests. As I've stated previously, I shan't be doing that unless you want me to. but you got to tell me, okay? Okay. So next is thanks to the guides or deities. So we're focusing on the red candle, aka the flame. I thank you, mighty flame, for bringing forth the negative energy that I have accumulated, for removing it and for destroying it. Through your fire, that's not right. Though your fire shall be extinguished, the flame inside my spirit shall never be diminished. Stay if you will, leave if you must. Okay, blow candle out, it is done. So now it is circle opening time. This might be a little bit tricky if you have a cloth down. Do not recommend it. I might put a little note in on the school site just mentioning that for those who don't see this. So study the salt that surrounds your work area and swipe away a section that covers the knot of the string, and then some verbiage. So my knot is here. It's going to be tricky because I'm on cloth, but I'm just going to... if you do have a little brush or a besom, or a feather, you can use the brush or feather or your finger, you know, just whichever feels easier. I'm going to use this because I have a feeling this might be easier to get the salt away from my knot. The inner circle has served its purpose. Thank you and farewell. That's weirdly quite therapeutic. And this works brilliantly, actually. Okay, if you're using a cloth, get yourself a feather. That's great. Okay, and then take up your scissors and cut out the knot to open the workspace. So you can pick it all the way up, slide your scissors all the way in and get it as close to the middle of the knot. Don't know if you'll be able to see. You see, in the middle. My circle is open, but remains unbroken. That is done. Cool. Ritual ending information. Dispose of the ashes once they are completely cool by throwing them in the bin where negativity belongs. Thank you very much. You can also put them in an outside bin, if you know, to keep them out of your house, particularly if you're having a bin collection, garbage collection, whatever it is that you want to call it, the next day. Perfect. I have seen some people throwing stuff like this down the toilet. I get it, because you can just flush it away, get it away from the house as soon as possible. However, that's not particularly environmentally savvy, so I would not recommend that you do that. Same with things like burying them, especially if you're burying them on your own property. Not only are you opening up the chances of wildlife finding it, ingesting it and having trouble, or ruining your garden, but you're also kind of keeping the leftovers of that negativity around your space, and we've just done all this work to get rid of it. So I mean, ultimately it is up to you. Of course it is your path. This is my path. This is just what I choose to do. But I wouldn't recommend burying it in general, or throwing it in a river or anything like that. No polluting, please. Thank you very much. But like I said, it kind of keeps the energy that you've just got rid of around you, and we don't want to be doing that. You can cut the knot completely out of the string to keep the string to use for another time and a different purpose if you wish. Yes, I do. I do not like wastage, not 1 second. So all that means is both sides of the knot you can cut, and then I'll just show you both of my lovely clean ends, and that means that I now have a piece of string that I can use for a different purpose at a different time without having to waste it. And then this little chappy is going to go in the bin with the rest of the ashes in there as well. So I'm just going to pop it in there for now. Here we go. Any leftover incense can be kept and used whenever you need a psychic cleansing boost. Thank you very much, past me. I shall be doing that because I do like the smell of this incense. I think it's lovely. Where's the lid? There it is. Okay, guys. So that is it for the mid-year psychic cleanse, which again is the August Dark Moon ritual for TMCS. As usual, if you have any questions, then feel free to ask me directly at tmcsyalasia@gmail.com, or you can send a message directly to the council email, so tmcscouncilmembers@gmail.com. Alternatively, you can either comment on the video itself down below, you can comment on the Facebook post where we will be putting this up, you can also comment on the Twitter below the notification that the video is live, not live, as well. Alternatively, you can just come to a study hall or a ritual chat. If you've got any specific ritual questions, then ritual chat is definitely a good one to go to. Okay, so I think that is absolutely everything to go through. I can't think of anything else. Keep an eye on extra posts or any notifications for when we do any further live rituals that are more coming throughout the year, so keep an eye out. And with all of that said, happy witching.